So it was a wild weekend in college basketball. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. It was the first time that I think we felt like a real college basketball Saturday, which is perfect for a show like ours. The Field is 68 After Dark. My name is Rob Doster. The voices that you're going to hear with me, Stadium Insider Jeff Goodman, former Iowa State head coach Steve Prohm. We had 7 ranked teams lose to unranked teams. We had Baylor lose their second game as the number 1 team at home in the span of a week, the first time that ever happened. But to me, the biggest storyline of the weekend was that the Blue Bloods got it rolling again. Duke won by 15 at home against NC State. We saw Kansas blow out West Virginia by 26 points. We saw Kentucky get it going again. We're going to talk to Ochai Agbaji from Kansas here in just a minute. But before we do, Jeff, I'm going to go to you first on this one. And I think I probably know what the answer is. Out of those 3 teams, who had the best weekend?
I mean, it's Kentucky, isn't it? Like, is there any debate that it's Kentucky? They blew out a ranked Tennessee team. I mean, and they hadn't really done anything yet in terms of a resume win. So that was kind of the one. They had beaten up on some decent teams, but not at the level of Tennessee. And they put up like historic offensive numbers against a really good Rick Barnes-led Tennessee team. So I think, again, Ty and Severe together working harmoniously is something that I've waited to see this whole year. And finally, we saw that with Ty having the ball in his hands. And Ty got the confidence when Wheeler was out with that concussion. That's when I think he was able to get his kind of confidence back, because I think he lost it.
Yeah, Kentucky. You just to beat, I know it was at home, but to beat a Rick Barnes, who's top 20 in all-time wins. I mean, one of the top coaches in college basketball all time, team based on defense and toughness, to beat them and score the ball the way they did against them. Right now it's Kentucky, and they're 14 wins. I saw they're averaging 27 points difference in their wins. They've won their 14 games by 27 points on average. And so, you can talk about who they beat, but when you're winning games soundly and convincingly and playing the right way, that's a sign of a good basketball team. So right now it's Kentucky for me.
Yeah, and I think it's nice to see them playing a little bit more up-tempo. I dropped this stat earlier, but when they lost to Notre Dame, it was a 62-possession game. When they beat Tennessee, they played a 73-possession game. To put that into context, 73 possessions, if you average that, you would be top 20 in America. 62 possessions, if you average that, you would be 355th in America. And I think playing up-tempo with Severe Wheeler, letting him do what he does at his best, is the key for Kentucky moving forward. Steve, really quick, I want to ask you on Kansas. You coached against them. You coached against this program. You coached in the Big 12. What is it about them that makes them so good? And how important is it to get David McCormick going?
Well, first off, Bill Self, Hall of Fame coach, phenomenal coach. Yeah, phenomenal coach. Number 1, Allen Fieldhouse, number 2, incredible environment. And number 3, they've had terrific players that know how to win and that have embraced his culture and his expectations. And I know we're going to talk to Ochai. He's just the next in line. But if they're going to make to where I have them as one of the teams to make a run, but if they're going to be a legit contender, it's got to David McCormick's got to make strides like he did the second half of last year. He's got to come on. Everybody knows Self wants to go inside. He wants to establish the paint. He wants to have a post presence in big moments. McCormick's got to have a big second half, a Big 12 play for them to contend for the Big 12 title. And then especially if they want to contend and make a run to the Final Four.
All right, Goodman, I am putting you on the spot here the way that you always put me on the spot. You have to wager the house that you are going to buy in San Diego one day. You have to put that on the line. Yeah. Who's winning the Big 12 this year, Baylor or Kansas?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
That is a brutal one at this point, an absolute brutal one. I will say Kansas. I'll say Kansas because of the home court advantage. I think it matters this year where, again, it was taken away. Not that it mattered last year anyway. Baylor was that much better than Kansas, but I think they're very equal in terms of talent. There's not a lot of difference this year. So I'll go with Kansas because I think 5 Gallon, and Steve knows this better than anybody, a lot tougher to win in 5 Gallon than it is in Waco.
Yeah, Kansas, their loss came on the road at Texas Tech. Baylor dropped 2 at home against teams they probably, in theory, should be beating. in that building. That's going to be a little bit of ground to make up. I teased it a little bit earlier. Ochai Agbaji